subscribers. Or subscriber rate. Hit the fucking like button and subscribe if I knock your ass out, man. I ain't fucking with you, man.
UFC 270, first pay-per-view of 2022. Besides the two title fights, guys, it's not a great card, not very deep, but very excited for the two fights, right? The co-main and the main event. I'll be going over both those fights and also the main card. We'll discuss the two big fights in detail. I don't love the card. It's very kind of a pick'em style fights. So we will look for some value. I find some value on some of these plays here. So we will discuss that. Keep in mind, if you are going to order this event, $74.99. It did go up. Dana White said it's not him. It's ESPN. So we'll definitely see how that goes. Obviously, the fans and people that do order the fights aren't impressed. I have to go over this Calvin Kattar fight, guys. It was very impressive. Hats off. Hats off to Calvin Kattar. I totally didn't see that coming. Probably should have, though. Probably should have. I did think Giga was going to make the next step. So sometimes you do have to, when you do think a fighter is, going to get that title shot or is going to be in the top 5, he has to make that next step eventually. And I did think stylistically the matchup was good for Giga. I do think that slip early in the first round and then Kattar was able to get the takedown was a very important part of the fight. Kattar wasn't able to take him down after that, but it was in the back of his mind. Kattar also pressured really well, and Giga wasn't able to throw as many kicks, and also Giga did gas out. He did gas out in that fight, so that's also something to keep in mind there. I did think they handled it fairly well after. I didn't like what Giga said. If they fought, 10 times, he would win 9 of them. I don't know about that. Kattar's just one tough son of a bitch, guys. I have to give his hats off. He bounced back after that tough loss to Max Holloway, where sometimes it can go both ways. After take a beating like that, you may not ever recover, and it may be tough to bounce back. But Kattar's just one tough son of a bitch. He bounced back. He showed why he should be in the top 5. And, one more win. I love to see him against Ortega. If he beats Ortega, I can see him getting a title shot. So that definitely will be interesting to see how that plays out. Giga's going to have to, go the hard way. He's going to have to get a couple more big wins, and maybe he'll get there one day. He should improve just like Kattar did against that after that Holloway loss. Rest of the card, pretty good. Pretty good for the rest of the card. I didn't have a ton of plays. I only had 2 plays going 1-1 in a parlay. So I didn't love the card from a standpoint. I did give out some leans and some other plays that did hit on the card. So hopefully you did tail those. Weekly update. 64% best bets over 2 years now, guys. Long-term winning here with the system. 63% long-term run here. Over 40 units in profit. No profit last week. Down a unit. NFL, good start to the playoffs. Good start to the playoffs after a great regular season. 8-3 all bets so far in the playoffs. 68% last 5 weeks in the NFL, guys. Always end the NFL season strong. PGA back-to-back profitable prop markets to start the year. Just missed out on an outright last week with Henley. Henley was leading the way, though, pretty much all tournament. Bad beat. He was up 5 shots on the back 9. It's never good when your guy's leading all tournament pretty much, or all weekend. Something usually happens. That's what happened here. Ran into a Hideki putter, and Hideki was able to win in a playoff. Tough beat there, plus 3,500. Ticket would have cashed. 70% best bets long term, guys. 1 pending this weekend. NBA, 66% on the season. Limited volume last few weeks due to COVID. We did have a tough beat yesterday with OKC. They got blown out. I had them plus 7. I did think they're great against the spread this year. If you look, OKC, very good. One of the best teams against the spread, actually. They didn't get it done yesterday. NHL 4-0 week last week, 14-9 on the year. I'll be looking at the NHL a little closer after the slow start due to COVID issues. Let's hear from my friend Meredith before we get into this card.
Guys, Meredith Gorman here, and are you still not subscribed to Matt's channel? Well, if you're not, hit the subscribe button because he's giving out free picks each and every week. Hope you have a good rest of your day.
SystemSportsCapping.com, guys. SystemSportsCapping.com to start profiting long-term on sports. 5% of the market is able to do that. My system is one of them. I have shown that over the past 7 years, and 3 documented, either on Twitter, YouTube, of course, and then with my clients for the past over 2 years now. Let's get right into it, guys. Let's get right into it. Shop around for best prices, like I always say. Let me get a drink of water here. Gone, minus 150. Title shot, heavyweight title shot, the one that we're all excited for, versus Ngannou, plus 130. You know, damn, this line has been moving, guys. It's been moving. Tons of movement on this one. Open around even money. Even Ngannou was favored slightly at one point. Then moved to minus 120 for Gone. And now we see minus 150. Now we see minus 150 that Gone backers, if they haven't got the number already, aren't too happy about. This should be an interesting fight. It's a classic power versus precision style fight. You know, I understand the love for Gone here. This could be a tough matchup for Francis, right, if he doesn't catch him. It's a very simple breakdown, guys. It's not, I'm not going to go over crazy detail in this fight. It's very simple, right? Personally, the only path for Francis to win this fight is by KO in the first or second round. It's not too difficult to understand that, right? Gane is very good on his feet. His movement is excellent. He is very hard to hit. Name one fight where he was rocked. Name one fight so far where he got hit clean. I don't see it, right? So how I can see this fight going is Gane just moving really well, stick and move, use his jab, could even use some grappling against the cage. We have seen it before. Gane is the much better all-around fighter here, right? Can Ngannou catch him? Of course. Of course he could. We've seen it multiple times, right? However, the way Gane fights, it's just difficult for me to see that happening because we haven't seen it happen before, right? So it's very difficult to see how, you know, Gane's just going to get knocked out clean. And it has to be in the first or second round. Ngannou will gas if it gets out of the first or second round. So we're going to see a lot of pressure from Ngannou in the first round, second round. So if you do have a Gane ticket, you're going to be biting your nails in the first couple rounds, right? Now, if Gane does get hit, since we haven't seen him get hit with a big shot, how does he react? How does he handle a big kick? You know, we heard in training camp Ngannou knocked him out with a high kick. I don't know. I don't know what to believe. We all know the drama around this, and it's more of the trainer, the French trainer versus Ngannou. That's what the drama is. These two guys don't really hate each other. We're not hearing a lot of bad talk back and forth between these two. So it's going to be interesting to see how Ngannou handles all this, right? You got to understand what's on his shoulders. Gane, nothing really. Ngannou, you know, the UFC contract. He wants to box, right? He's talking about boxing Fury. And also the drama with the French, his old French trainer. So there's a lot on Ngannou's shoulders, and that's why I think this line is moving. You know, I do think the line is moving. You know, I'm leaning Gane here. Am I going to have a bet on it at this price? No. I think I missed a better price. You know, if you ask me who I think will win this fight, it's Gane, because it's more of that Derek Lewis puncher chance knockout. He's going to have to hit him clean. He's going to have to knock him out. Of course it could happen. It's Ngannou, right? We've seen how, and he's improved as well, moving training camp. So keep that in mind, guys. This could happen. We haven't seen Gane get hit heavy, and I'm pretty sure he's going to have to face a big shot or two in this fight. Could be a kick. It could be a punch. I don't know. But he's going to have to experience that big shot. So we're going to have to see how he handles that, right? But I do think Gane's going to be able to stick and move, maybe make the fight boring. But just his precision, his movement, he doesn't have a ton of power. I don't see a finish. It could be more of a TKO finish. I don't see a clean-out knockout from Gane. But it's going to be interesting. It's going to be an interesting fight. I'm very excited for it. Remember, Ngannou wins in the first 2 rounds. Gon wins if it gets out of the second round. It's very simple. Is Ngannou going to catch him? We're going to have to find out. I can't wait for this one, guys. Lean Gon. I haven't have a bet as of yet for clients. Not sure if I'll get there. If you like Ngannou, I say bet it now because I could see some action coming on him at plus 130, plus 135. So jump on him now if you like him. I do think it may go down closer to the fight. Next fight here, another title fight, the flyweight title fight, guys. Flyweight title fight, Moreno minus 175 versus Pereira plus 155, plus 150. Shop around there. There is some value there on Figueiredo if you do like him. Part 3, right? Part 3, the trilogy of this fight. A draw and a win for Moreno. Can he move on from Fig, or will we see a 4th fight, right? If Fig wins this fight, you have to expect a 4th fight. So we will want to see how Fig looks on the scales before, if you do like Fig at the plus money. I understand if you like it at plus money due to the value here. But the scales always tells you everything, right, in this one. So wait to see how he looks on the scales. He does have some tough weight cuts from time to time. He's a big boy. Personally, I do expect him to be in good shape here. I don't expect him to miss weight. Moreno looked like the better fighter in both. Maybe the first one, okay, you could say was even, but Moreno obviously definitely looked a much better fighter in the second fight. Obviously, Fig had a bunch of excuses saying he was sick, he was injured, etc., etc. I don't know how much to take from that. He's a very cocky guy. I don't like him personally, his personality. Love everything about Moreno. The longer this fight goes, the more I favor Moreno. He's proved that in both fights. Moreno submitted Fig in the last fight. I think it was the 3rd round to win the belt. It looked fairly easy for him in that fight. Was Fig his self? Maybe not. Maybe he wasn't. Why I think Moreno's a bad matchup for Fig is that he can handle Fig's power, unlike some flyweights, right? Moreno is super durable, very durable, and he can handle that. He can wrestle too, and if it does get to the ground for Fig's famous choke, Moreno can handle himself there, right? He can take the big shots from Fig. Moreno, this will be like what I see from Moreno personally, obviously besides his confidence, a very confident guy. I personally just think he's very well-rounded. I think his boxing and his stand-up is improving. Doesn't have a ton of power. He's not a power guy. But he will be able to touch you up, use a nice jab, and if it gets to the ground, he's great there. Great wrestler as well. Now, minus 175, I'm going to talk about the lines like I always do. Don't love it. I can't bet Moreno straight up at minus 175. That's my limit at a straight bet. It's usually 150 max, 170 if I really like it. You got to get creative. Now, outcome, very difficult, very difficult. I think it can go all 5 rounds very easily, decision, or I could see a Moreno finish. But, the way Fig wins, he would have to catch Moreno, but Moreno hasn't shown anything that tells me that he can be finished. So it's just very hard for me to get to that. So it's going to be Moreno here to win the fight. Very tough to call an outcome here, so I don't have a comment on that. It would have to be in maybe a 2-fight parlay. If you don't mind betting straight up with a high juice, go for it. I don't suggest that long term, though. I think Moreno keeps his belt. He moves on from this Fig fight. Fig's a little older now, 35. If he does lose this fight, will he continue to fight? Will he maybe go to boxing? I don't know. But I do think Moreno gets the job done here and holds his belt. Next fight here, Michael Pereira for some, minus 280 versus Falalo, plus 230. This fight was supposed to be on last week's card, guys. After Michel's opponent pulled out. For some reason now it's on the main card of a pay-per-view. Because this card's not deep, like I mentioned. A nice 3-fight win streak for Michel. And yes, he's a very fun guy to watch. But you never know what you're going to see from the guy. Backflips, spinning strikes, dancing. He is very awkward and one wild guy. So this guy that he's fighting, I don't know a ton about. I had to do obviously some research. I had to watch some fights. He is making his UFC debut. He's been fighting in UAE where he won 4 in a row. I watched some tape on him. It's tough to do a lot of research because the fight competition that he's fighting is very low. So it's very tough to see how, he's getting some finishes, but the opponents that he's fighting aren't great. He does have a win over James Vick, the very chinny James Vick, if you remember him. He used to fight in the UFC. So, he's been winning in these promotions. That's why he's getting a chance here. He's fought in Bellator and PFL, but those guys released him. So there's a reason why they released him, right? So I do think Pereira gets it done. I think he's better everywhere. I think maybe Falalo may have a little more power. He does have some TKO power. So Pereira realizes that and could avoid that. Maybe grapple his way to win here. He is a black belt in jiu-jitsu as well. So if he does get there, if he does grapple, he should win this fight. Don't love the price. But it is a parlay material type of play. This main card's been flopping, mixed matching all around, but I think we got it right here. Nurmagomedov said Nurmagomedov. Don't get it wrong. It's not. That could be. Well, he's a cousin or something, but he's totally opposite of them. Versus Stammen plus 160. Don't get him fooled here, guys. He's not really a big wrestler. He's totally different. He's more of a striker than a wrestler. Stammen is a wrestler. So that's why I think there's some value here if he wants to make it boring. Right? If he wants to make this boring, just wrestle and hold him to the ground, which Stammen is capable of doing, he could win this fight. Plus 160 is valuable. If this fight's on the feet side, it's a lot better on the feet. He doesn't have any submissions, though, Stammen, so it's not a guy that's going to bring you to the ground and submit you. He's just a guy he uses his size, right? He's fought at 145 before. He's a big guy. He can hold Saeed down and win an ugly one, maybe some ground and pound. But, yeah, there's value there. You definitely can't bet minus 190 on a mega amount of straight up. That will not be happening. Last fight here to go over, guys. Vieira minus 220 versus Thurman plus 180. Some Brazilians fighting here. We all know Vieira, what he wants to do, right? There's no secret. Not a good striker, but he's a great grappler. However, he was exposed. He got submitted versus Hernandez because he gasses out. That's the only reason. He just gasses out, guys. He goes in there. He doesn't get the submission in the first round, maybe second. It's big trouble. It's big trouble. Thurman's never been submitted. He's never been submitted. But a lot of guys aren't trying to submit this guy because Thurman, what he does is he likes to grapple. He likes to get it on the ground. Heavier guy. But if he does that with Vieira, it might not be a smart thing to do, right? Both guys aren't great strikers. Vieira has added a jab, which is interesting. It looked okay last time out. But it's tough. Again, there's a value alert here. There is some value here with Thurman. It's just the style, the match. It's not like Thurman's a much better striker. I think he's a little bit of a better, I think he's a tad better striker than Vieira. But if Vieira's to work that jab and Thurman tries to grapple, it could be dangerous, right? So if you're going to bet this price, which you're crazy to bet at minus 220, you got to take a submission. Vieira's not going to win any other way. It's going to be by submission. So if this fight gets to the ground, he has a good chance. Look that way. Look to get some value Vieira by submission. Great value with Thurman. If he be able to get it to the second or third round and avoid that submission, Thurman wins this fight at plus 180. You're laughing. So a sprinkle opportunity on Thurman. Definitely don't bet this minus 220 straight up. The only suggestion here is Thurman plus money or Vieira by submission at plus money if you can get that. That's my only suggestion there. That will do it, guys. That will do it for this card. Hopefully you enjoyed the breakdown. It's going to be a good card from the first, mainly because of the co-main and main event. That's why I like the card. Rest of the card I don't love. There's a couple good fights on the prelims. If I do like anything, my clients will get those plays. That will do it, guys. That will do it for me. Check out my divisional round playoff video out tomorrow. Like I always say, guys, bet smart and know your limits. Take care.